YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we got the new cards in Master Duel right now, and we got also the ARTMAGE. Now, we did the Draco Tail guide a while ago, or I uploaded it a while ago. You can check that one out. It is in the channel. The reason why I want to make this guide as well for the ARTMAGE is because there isn't that much that you can get from the other guides online. Aside from the combos that you got, this is actually like a showcase for the card by card, and then the tech cards, and then the variants that you might probably want to check out. So these are the newer cards that we got from the new selection pack. I think the only thing missing here is the one fusion monster that's from the latest pack. I think we haven't got that one yet. So with this video, we are going to tackle first the main deck cards, the tech cards, the variants, and lastly, the combos that you might use for the deck. Alright, so without further ado, let's start off with the core cards. Now, for the monsters that you have here, they don't really have like specific archetype effects, but these three cards here, the Letera, Graflair, and a copy of Finmel, they can be special summoned from the hand if they have a face-up ARTMAGE card on the field. The rest, you can normal or spell summon the Medius, the Pure, and the only means to have this on the field is by the effect of Medius, or you can just normal summon this card to the field. Now, this is one of your means of fusion summoning your extra deck monsters. So Medius, once normal or spell summon, can add to hand or spell summon one power patron from your deck. So this is the only power patron monster that you currently have. If this card is in your graveyard, shuffle one monster from hand or face up on the field, and then you can special summon this. So not only that you can spell summon this card by its own effect, it also triggers the first effect as well. And once you have the patron on the field, you can quick effect during the main phase, fusion summon one ARTMAGE fusion monster or one Nerva, the other patron extra deck monster, by using monsters from hand or field as its materials. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can gain access to one ARTMAGE spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So with that, with the other monsters, we have here the Letera. If you have a face-up ARTMAGE, you can spell summon this card. Then you can add one ARTMAGE card from your graveyard to your hand. During your opponent's main phase, you can spell summon one ARTMAGE monster from your hand or graveyard, then return this card from field to hand. Usual targets for this is basically your Power Patron or the other ARTMAGE cards, aside from the Medius, because it doesn't have an ARTMAGE name on him. Graflair, if you have a face-up ARTMAGE card, you can spell summon this card, then you can set one ARTMAGE spell card from your deck to the field. You can target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if you control 3 or more monster types on the field, the effect becomes a quick effect. And lastly, for the monsters, the Finmel, during the main phase, if you have 3 or more different monster types on your field, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Also, until the end of this turn, their attacks become half. So that is the monsters for the spell and traps. So we have the Theorealize. Send one Medius the Pure from your deck to the graveyard. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck and place it on the top or bottom of the deck. You can banish this card, then target one face-up monster you control and declare one monster type and attribute. That monster becomes that type and attribute until the end of your opponent's turn. I think I've seen a build where they are playing this card right here. So you can turn your monsters into a psychic monster, and then with another synchro, exe, or link monster, you can fusion summon into this monster right here. The next one here is a Theorealized Overdrive. To target one Medius the Pure in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one face-up monster you control, and declare one level 1 to 10. That monster becomes that level until the end of the turn. But anywho's, that is your 2 cards for just the Medius. The rest of the cards are as follows. So we have here the Alternation. Place one field spell for the ARTMAGE from deck or graveyard face up in your field zone, or if you control already the field spell, you can add one ARTMAGE card from your deck to your hand. When your ARTMAGE monster is targeted for an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that attack, then you can spell summon one Medius the Pure from your hand. We have a copy of Pedigree. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, spell summon one ARTMAGE monster from your deck in defense position with a different name than the cards you control. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate the effect of the field spell, you can add one ARTMAGE trap card from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Then we have the field spell. During your main phase, you extra normal summon one Medius of Pure in addition to your normal summon or set. The secondary effect that is not a soft or a hard once per turn. You can discard one spell or trap, declare one ARTMAGE monster card name that is not among the monsters you control, add that monster from your deck to your hand, so that is the field spell. Then we have ARTMAGE Vandalism Assault. When this card is activated, you can add one Medius the Pure from your deck to your hand. You can target one face-up monster you control. If that face-up monster would be used as a fusion material, this turn it can be treated as an ARTMAGE monster. If a field spell you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card you control to the graveyard instead. ARTMAGE Masterwork Succession. During the main phase, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, including an ARTMAGE monster. And if a card is in the field zone, that monster gains 500 attack. During the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 ARTMAGE cards with different names in your grave, shuffle them into your deck. Then lastly, for the trap card, ARTMAGE Pack Awakening. Spell summon one ARTMAGE monster or one Medius the Pure from your deck. Also for the rest of the turn, the activation of your cards and effects that includes an effect that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is fusion summoned this way. You can banish this card from the graveyard, target one ARTMAGE monster you control, return that monster to the hand or extra deck. If you do, destroy one card your opponent controls. So most of the time, this is always going to be in the graveyard. And with that, that is your main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. ARTMAGE Deckklist. You can target one monster on the field, change its battle position. The reason for this is it pairs so well with your Nerva, and I'll talk about it after we check the effect of Deckklist. When your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, if you have 3 or more different monster types, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can spell summon one Medius the Pure from your hand, deck, or banishment. Now for the last monster, Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation, must be either fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck in defense position by attributing 3 monsters with different types. If this is on defense, all you have to do is just use the first effect of Deckklist to change its battle position to attack. While a card is in the field zone, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, when you activate an ARTMAGE monster's effect, you can make the activated effect become destroy all cards your opponent controls. So amazing as it is, it's also a board wipe. With regard to the number of copies, Patron, if you're running pure, 2 copies is the best way to go. If you're running with another variant, 1 copy is better. For a copy of Litera, 2 copies if you're running pure, 1 if you're running with another variant. Medius definitely on 3. If you're using another variant, 2 copies is the best way to go. ARTMAGE Graph Layer is on 2 to 3 copies on pure, 1 if you're running with another variant. Finmel, only 1 in both pure and another variant. With Theo Realized, 0 to 2 copies with this. Nonetheless, we might consider the other cards rather than this one. Alternation, definitely on 3 copies. 1 copy of Pedigree, or 0 to 1, depending on your build. The Field Spell, definitely on 3. The Assault, definitely on 3. If you're running another variant for Alternation, 1 copy will do. The Field Spell is on 1 if you're running another variant. Lastly, the Assault, 1 copy if you're running another variant as well. The Pedigree works only if you're running the pure version, so 0 to 1. With the Succession, 1 copy if you're running pure, and if you're running with another variant. Theo Realize Overdrive, 0 to 1. That's it. Then for the Awakening, 1 copy, but I've seen a couple of builds that run 2 copies. I'm not too sure if the 2 copies is better, but 1 is enough actually. For the extra deck, just 2 copies of Deckklist and then 1 copy of Nerva. That is your core deck list. Let's move on to the tech cards for the build. Okay, so for the tech cards of this build, we have here, I think I forgot one thing here. So I might have to just put Axon here. So basically, that's everything else that I've seen so far being played with the new ARTMAGE cards. So this has been used in some other builds with the Manadium, I think. Yeah, with the Manadium. So 3 copies of this plus a 1 copy of, or 2 copies of Prisma. You use this, you get a copy of Prisma, normal summon the Prisma, sending a copy of Medius the Pure to the grave, and then Medius will bounce this back to the deck. Spell summon the Medius, triggering its effect, gaining access to the Patron. So that's one way to go. And of course, the Fusion Deployment, the easiest way as well, which you can summon to the field, the Medius. So really good 3 cards for the main deck. For the extra deck, since you're running also Illusion Monsters, this actually works a little bit well. Plus a Light Spellcaster, this monster here. So Light Spellcaster here, that's one of the requirements. Plus this bad boy right here, which is an illusion monster. So the requirement is 1 illusion monster plus 1 light spellcaster as materials for an extra negate. Also for Axon Kicker, like if you watch my video with regards to the psychic decks, this actually works well. If they try to spell summon, you can negate the summon and then banish that card. So yeah, I forgot to update Guardian Chimera as one of the tech cards as well. So Succession can actually summon Guardian Chimera to the field. So that's one way to go. That is everything else. Hopefully I don't miss anything. If so, tell me in the comment section below. So with that, that is your tech cards. Let's move on to the variants for the deck. Okay, so for the pure version of the ARTMAGE, this is what I'm running so far. I've tested this one out in the game. 3 copies of each. We have a couple of board breakers, triple tactics talent, some copies of super poly because we have a lot of room for the extra deck. So might as well gonna use it or capitalize on that one. Like I said a while ago in my previous video with the DRACO Tail, Ignister is somewhat questionable now because Malice was removed of its red ransom. So you can change this if you want or have another useful card other than Ignister. I do love the board breakers, by the way. I'm more comfortable with having board breakers in my deck rather than hand traps. For the extra deck, the newer card, amazing as it is, stopping dragon and spellcaster monsters from activating their effects. But anyways, that is the pure build. If you want the deck list for this, it will always be in the comment section below. So with that, that is the pure version. Let's move on to the next version. Okay, so for the next variant for the ARTMAGE, we have here Branded. I've tried the 40 card deck list, but like I said in my previous video, I think the best way to play Branded in all of your decks is gonna be a 60 card plus. You have plenty of rooms for starters as well, like Fusion Deployment, Branded Fusion, plus you can just send a copy of Medius to the graveyard and then use its effect to spin back 1 monster card. 3 ops for everything. So that is Branded for you guys. Let's move on to the next variant. Okay, so for the next best variant for the ARTMAGE, we have here the Fiendsmith. I know, people are getting bored with Fiendsmith being added to most of the decks. But honestly, this is one of the notable and useful decks that you can actually use. One good engine to actually place into the deck. With that, let's move on to another variant. Okay, so for the next variant, we have here ARTMAGE as Amina. Since these cards can actually bounce itself back from the graveyard to the field or to the hand, so might as well gonna sacrifice them for a copy of Deception, gaining access to the Hallowed Amina for a monster negate, whatever. That's why it's only like a couple of cards. I'm not really too sure about running 3 copies of this. You can remove like 1 more or 2 more copies for this anyways. But 2 copies is primarily a better choice. Possibly. But anyways, that is it for the Azamina. So with this, let's move on to our last variant. Alright, so for our last variant, we have here the Gem Knights ARTMAGE or ARTMAGE Gem Knights, or whatever. The Gem Knight cards, 3 copies of Nephirim, 3 copies of Dispersion. And of course, the Brilliant Fusion on 3 copies, whatever. And then we only have like 1 copies of each of the ARTMAGE cards. Just mix and match the number of copies that you want to add for both of the archetypes. And I think that's basically it. So far, so good. With that, that is our last variant. Let's move on to the combos of the deck. Okay guys, so here we are with the combos. So I have 4 combos that you can actually do with some of the cards. So typically the ARTMAGE archetype needs a spell or trap to discard from the field spell to gain access to more of the monsters that you need to summon to the field. So with this first combo, we have here Medius, then +1 spell or trap card. So let's start. Go Medius first. Gain access to the Patron. Patron summon to the field. Use the effect of Patron here to fuse. That's it. Going to a copy of the Arcturus. And then when Patron is sent to the graveyard, get a copy of the field spell. So this starts off your materials. Use the field spell. Gain access to the Graflair. Graflair spell summon to the field. Gain access to a copy of Alternation. Alternation adds a copy of the trap card. Now the reason for this is this has a floating effect. This needs to go first and then you go for your trap card. If you have this already on hand, then go directly for your trap card afterwards. So that's it. Getting the trap card, use the field spell there, pitch the trap card, get a copy of the Litera. Litera spell summon to the field, gain access to the trap card, and then use the effect of the field spell once more. Send the trap card to the graveyard. You can use the effect of the trap card, by the way, to set but it's up to you. Most of the time, the one pop from the trap card in the graveyard is way better. So having this one in grave is way better. So with that, gain a copy of Finmail. But before we spell summon, we go for a copy of Cross Sheep. Special summon the Finmail so that we can spell summon a monster from the graveyard. There you go. And oh yeah, Finmail allows you to draw one card. So amazing. So with this, we have here Interruption from Litera, Interruption from Finmail, Interruption from Deoctorus, and Interruption from the Awakening. And if you manage to summon a copy of Patron in the field, you can fuse into a copy of Nerva, Patron of Creation. That's what you can do with the board. So negate, or Omni Negate for Deoctorus, Finmail, Dark Ruler no more, Monster Negate, whatever. So that is it. Let's move on to the second combo. Alright, so for our second combo, we have here the field spell. So we go first the field spell. Pitch in the Lightning Storm for a copy of Gruff Flare. Gruff Flare can spell summon to the field, gaining access to the continuous spell, and then adding a copy of Medius. Using the effect of the field spell to normal summon Medius to the field. Medius spell summons the Patron Fuse, your typical stuff. There you go. Into a copy of Deoctorus, and then Patron is sent to the graveyard. Adds a copy of the Alternation. Alternation gets you a copy of the trap card, and then you use the effect of the field spell to gain access to all of your cards. So Litera spell summon, get the trap card back. And like what we did a while ago, we keep on sending spells or traps from hand to the grave. So there you go. Cross Sheep, and then Finmail spell summon, and then spell summon the last monster from the graveyard. So there we go. So that's basically the same thing, plus of course protection for your field spell with Assault. So that's our combo number 2. Let's move on with the other 2 combos. Okay, so for this third combo, we have here Assault plus 1 spell or trap card discard. So Assault first. Get a copy of Medius. Normal summon. And then your typical stuff. Summon the Patron Fuse. There you go. The Deoctorus in the field. And then once we send a copy of Patron, gain access to the field spell. We don't get the the alternation just yet. But first we go for the field spell. Pitching in the Lightning Storm, getting a copy of Gruff Flare, and Gruff Flare spell summon to the field, gaining access now to the alternation. Alternation will add the trap card, and then we pitch it again twice for the other 2 monsters like we did earlier. So Litera first. So same thing. I'm just gonna fast forward that. Pitch again, getting a copy of Finmail, Cross Sheep, and going for the copy of Finmail. Spell summon 1 from the graveyard. That's it. Now, there are gonna be some scenarios where before you go into the Cross Sheep, if he has Nibiru, so might as well gonna go for a copy of SP Little Knight rather than a copy of Cross Sheep, because if he activates the Nibiru, you can just save your copy of Deoctorus from the field and then have it back on the field by the end of the turn. So that's one way to save your Deoctorus, which is a pretty good Omni Negate, by the way. So that is the board. Let's move on to the last variant. Sorry, I said last variant. This is the last combo. So our last combo is just 1 copy of Alternation plus 1 spell or trap card discard. So with this, let's go for Alternation. Get the field spell pitch. Same thing what we did a while ago. Gruff Flare spell summon into a copy of the Assault. And then you get your cards on the field. So Medius Pure, summon to the field. Get the Patron Fuse, same thing. There you go. Deoctorus, and then Patron. Since we already used the the alternation, we just immediately get a copy of the trap card and then pitch it twice for the monsters. There you go. So the Terra, summon to the field, spin or bounce back the trap card. Go cross sheep. And then spill some of the fin mill, and then whatever, same thing. That's it. There you go. So that's it. That's it basically. That is everything that I've accumulated so far with the ARTMAGE archetype. Hopefully this was a bit informative for you guys, especially for the ones who's looking for tech cards and deck profiles for ARTMAGE. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe, good luck. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.